Welcome back to my channel. Today we explore the value of specific coin, the top 4 most valuable USA gold-plated $1 coins value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 1881 James Garfield gold-plated $1 coin, especially the version with no visible mint mark. While this coin might look like it belongs in a museum, its value today might surprise you. In this video, we'll take a closer look at this coin, its background, and its value in the modern market. To begin, it's important to clarify that the United States Mint did not produce a gold coin in 1881 with President James Garfield's image. Garfield was indeed elected president in 1880 and took office in March 1881, but his term was tragically cut short when he was assassinated later that same year. Because of this, there were no circulating coins featuring his portrait during his lifetime. The coin in question is actually part of the Presidential Dollar Coin Program, which began in 2007 and was designed to honor each deceased U.S. president with a $1 coin. The James Garfield coin was officially released in 2011. As part of this program, the original presidential dollars were made of a composition known as manganese brass, not gold. This alloy gives them a golden color, which can sometimes lead to confusion. However, the coin we're focusing on is gold-plated. That means someone outside the U.S. Mint applied a thin layer of gold to the surface of the coin, typically for novelty or commemorative purposes. These gold-plated coins were often sold by private companies or distributed as collectible items, but they were never issued as official gold currency. Because the plating was done privately and not by the U.S. Mint, gold-plated presidential dollars do not carry any added intrinsic metal value. The layer of gold is extremely thin, usually measured in microns, and does not significantly increase the coin's melt value. However, these coins can still be collectible to the right audience, depending on their condition and how well the plating has been preserved. Let's talk about the no mint mark aspect. In the presidential dollar series, the mint mark was usually located on the coin's edge, rather than on the obverse or reverse. If your coin has no visible mint mark, it's possible that the edge lettering has worn off over time, or perhaps the coin was improperly struck and the edge lettering was never applied. While some collectors find this intriguing, in most cases, the absence of a mint mark on a gold-plated dollar is not considered rare or especially valuable. It's typically a result of wear or post-mint modification. As of 2025, the value of a James Garfield gold-plated $1 coin with no mint mark in good condition remains fairly modest. Because the gold plating was not done by the mint and because the coin is not made of actual gold, collectors generally do not place a high premium on these items. In the general market, such coins typically sell for between $1 and $3, depending on the buyer and condition. If the coin is housed in original packaging from a private distributor or presented in a collector's set, it might fetch slightly more, possibly $5 to $10. However, it's important to understand the distinction between collector interest and actual market value. While these coins may hold sentimental or decorative value to some, they are not considered rare by numismatic standards. There are thousands of gold-plated presidential dollars in circulation, and since they are not official gold issues, they do not carry the kind of historical or bullion-based value that many high-end collectors seek. For comparison, a genuine U.S. gold coin from the 1800s, such as a Liberty Head $1 gold piece from 1880, one could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition and mint mark. But the gold-plated James Garfield dollar is a modern, novelty item and is treated accordingly in the marketplace. That said, there are still people who collect these coins as part of themed collections. For instance, some individuals enjoy assembling a full set of all the gold-plated presidential dollars, and to them, each piece holds value as part of the whole. These collectors might be willing to pay a slight premium, especially if the coin is in excellent shape with a shiny finish and no signs of wear or damage. In conclusion, the 1881 James Garfield gold-plated $1 coin with no mint mark is a fun and interesting item, especially for those who appreciate American history and presidential memorabilia, but from a numismatic standpoint, its value in today's market is relatively low, typically not more than a few dollars. While it may look like a rare and valuable coin, it's important to remember that appearances can be deceiving. If you're looking to sell one, you might find some interest among casual collectors or hobbyists, but it's unlikely to bring in a significant sum. On the other hand, if you're holding on to one for personal enjoyment or as part of a larger themed collection, it can certainly serve as a meaningful and decorative piece of modern coinage. Next up, the gold-plated Andrew Johnson $1 coin dated 1865 to 1869 with no mint mark. If you've come across one of these coins or are simply curious about its value in today's market, stay with us as we break it all down. First, it's important to clarify the origins of this coin. The Andrew Johnson dollar coin is part of the Presidential Dollar Coin Series, which was launched by the United States Mint in 2007. This program honored U.S. presidents in the order they served, releasing 4 coins each year. Andrew Johnson, the 17th President of the United States who served from 1865 to 1869, was featured on a coin released in 2011. Therefore, even if your coin has 1865 to 1869 inscribed on it, it was not minted during those years. That date range simply represents Johnson's time in office. This brings us to an essential point. If your coin is gold-plated and has the appearance of a collectible or valuable historical piece, it's crucial to understand that the gold plating was not done by the U.S. Mint. Instead, these coins were often altered by private companies or individuals after they left the mint. These private enhancements, typically involving a very thin layer of gold electroplating, were usually intended for novelty or commemorative purposes and not for increasing the coin's intrinsic or numismatic value. Since these gold-plated presidential dollars are not official releases in that form, the numismatic market, which focuses on original condition and authenticity, generally does not assign them high monetary value. In fact, for most collectors, modifications like gold plating are considered damage rather than a premium feature. Coins are most valuable when they are in their original state as issued by the mint, without any enhancements, alterations, or cleaning. So let's talk about market value. An unaltered Andrew Johnson presidential dollar coin from 2011 in good circulated condition typically has a face value of $1 and a market value that rarely exceeds that. In uncirculated or mint condition, it might fetch between $1 to $3 depending on its grade and whether it comes from a special mint set. If it's from a proof set or has been graded professionally by a service such as PCGS or NGC, it might sell for a slightly higher premium, perhaps in the range of $4 to $6. However, those coins are unplated and in pristine condition. Now, when it comes to the gold-plated version with no mint mark, the story changes. The lack of a mint mark usually suggests that the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. However, since all standard presidential dollar coins without a mint mark came from Philadelphia, this doesn't make the coin rare or more valuable. Gold-plated versions of the Andrew Johnson dollar are widely available through online auction platforms, coin dealers, and private sellers. Their value tends to hover around $2 to $5 depending on presentation. For example, if the coin is displayed in a collectible case or sold as part of a set, the asking price might be slightly higher, often driven more by presentation, than the coin's actual worth. It's also worth noting that some companies market these gold-plated coins as limited edition items or special collectibles, often charging much more than the coin is realistically worth. While they may advertise them as rare or valuable, informed collectors understand that post-mint modifications do not increase market value. These coins may have aesthetic appeal and make interesting conversation pieces, but they are not considered rare or high-value collectibles in the numismatic world. If you're looking to sell or buy one of these coins, your best bet is to check recent listings on online auction sites like eBay, search specifically for Andrew Johnson gold-plated dollar coin, and filter for completed sales rather than active listings. This will show you what people have actually paid, not just what sellers are asking. Based on recent data, most sales for a gold-plated Andrew Johnson presidential dollar with no mint mark in good condition range from $2 to $5, sometimes up to $10 if the coin is in a special display case. Keep in mind that these values can fluctuate slightly depending on the buyer's interest, market trends, and how the coin is presented. But, as a rule, these coins do not appreciate in value over time unless there's an unusual collector demand or a unique error associated with the original minting process. In summary, if you own a gold-plated Andrew Johnson presidential dollar, coin dated 1865 to 1869 with no mint mark and it's in good condition, its current market value is modest. While it may hold sentimental or decorative value, especially if it was part of a gift or commemorative set, its monetary worth today typically does not exceed a few dollars. If your interest lies in building a valuable coin collection, it's generally recommended to focus on unaltered, mint-issued coins with proven rarity and official grading. Next up, the gold-plated $1 coin featuring James K. Polk, the 11th President of the United States. Specifically, we'll be talking about a coin dated between 1845 and 1849, with no mint mark and what its actual value is in today's market if it's in good condition. Let's start by clarifying a few things. The dates 1845 to 1849 refer to the years James K. Polk served as president. However, there were no official U.S. $1 coins bearing his image made during that time. The United States Mint did not begin producing presidential dollar coins until 2007. The James K. Polk dollar was officially released in 2009 as part of the Presidential $1 Coin Program. This means any coin you may have that says James K. Polk and is dated 1845 to 1849 is not from the mid-1800s. Instead, it is a modern commemorative or novelty item that reflects his years in office, not the year the coin was minted. Many of these coins have been gold-plated, either by private companies or as part of souvenir sets. It's important to note that the U.S. Mint does not produce gold-plated versions of these coins, that gold plating is added aftermarket. And while it might make the coin look more valuable or appealing, it actually diminishes the new value of the coin in the eyes of serious collectors. Now, let's address the lack of a mint mark. On most U.S. coins, a mint mark indicates which facility produced the coin. Presidential dollar coins generally have the mint mark on the edge of the coin, along with the year and other inscriptions. If a James K. Polk dollar appears to have number mint mark, it may be due to wear, improper striking, or in some cases, it could be a sign of a mint error. But most often, it simply means the edge inscription is faint or hard to see. Since the edge inscriptions can fade with circulation, this is not uncommon. Assuming you have a gold-plated James K. Polk dollar coin from the 2009 Presidential Dollar Series, in good condition, and it appears to have no visible mint mark, let's talk about its value in today's market. For starters, these coins in their original, unaltered form, meaning no plating, are worth about face value if circulated. That means if it's been in someone's pocket, purse, or drawer, and has wear and tear, it's worth about $1. Uncirculated or mint condition versions of the coin can sometimes sell for a bit more, typically between $1.50 and $3. Now, when gold plating is added, it doesn't make the coin more valuable in terms of coin collecting. In fact, it often lowers its numismatic value. Collectors prefer original condition coins, and once a coin has been altered, it's generally considered damaged from a collector's standpoint. That said, there are people who collect novelty items or like the look of gold-plated coins. And, to those buyers, these coins can have a modest premium. In today's market, a gold-plated James K. Polk presidential dollar coin in good condition might sell for around $2 to $5 on online platforms like eBay or through novelty coin dealers. Some sellers may try to list them for more, sometimes asking $10 or $15, especially if the coin is part of a presentation case or comes with a certificate from a private mint. However, what they list it for and what people actually pay can be two different things. Completed sales and auctions typically show that these coins don't fetch high prices. If the coin is in particularly pristine condition, meaning no scratches, tarnish, or signs of wear, it might attract buyers looking for a visually appealing collectible. Even so, the value would likely top out around $5 unless it's part of a larger set. There are a few things that could potentially increase the coin's value slightly. For instance, if it has a known minting error, such as a misaligned edge inscription, a blank planchette, or a double strike, then it could be worth more. Error coins are highly collectible and can sell for anywhere from $10 to several hundred, depending on the rarity and the error itself. But again, gold plating usually cancels out the added value from a potential mint error because the alteration makes it difficult to verify authenticity. So, to summarize, a James K. Polk gold-plated dollar coin dated 1845 to 1849, with no visible mint mark, is almost certainly a 2009 presidential dollar that has been altered after minting. Its actual collector value is low, especially if it has been plated or circulated. In good condition, its market value today would typically range between $2 and $5, depending on the buyer and any additional packaging or presentation. It is not made of real gold, and the plating is usually just a thin layer added for appearance. If you own one of these coins, it's a neat piece of modern memorabilia, but it's not a rare or highly valuable collector's item. It can be a nice addition to a general collection or used for educational purposes, but it shouldn't be expected to appreciate significantly in value over time. Next up, the United States. Dated between 1825 and 1829, with no mint mark and gold-plated. Many people who come across this coin wonder if they've discovered a rare treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But what is the actual value of this coin in today's market? To begin with, let's clarify a few important details about this coin. Although the coin bears the years 1825 to 1829, which correspond to the years John Quincy Adams served as president, it was not actually minted during that period. In fact, this coin is part of the presidential $1 coin program that ran from 2007 to 2016. These coins were produced by the United States Mint to honor each of the deceased U.S. presidents in the order they served. The John Quincy Adams dollar coin was released in 2008, not in the 1800s, as the date range might suggest to the untrained eye. So, while the date on the coin is 1825 to 1829, reflecting the years of Adams' presidency, the coin itself is a modern collectible. It was mass-produced in both circulating and collector versions. Typically, the coin was minted in Philadelphia or Denver, and in some cases, San Francisco. If your coin appears to have no mint mark, it was likely minted in Philadelphia, as coins from this facility often lack a visible mint mark. Now, let's talk about the gold plating. The U.S. Mint did not release any genuine gold or gold-plated presidential dollar coins. If you come across a gold-colored coin, it is most likely made from a standard manganese brass alloy, giving it a golden appearance, or it was privately gold-plated after leaving the mint. These gold-plated versions were often sold by third-party companies as novelty or commemorative items. While they may look more valuable due to the gold finish, this does not increase the coin's numismatic value. In fact, gold plating can sometimes reduce a coin's appeal to serious collectors who prefer coins in their original, unaltered state. A standard John Quincy Adams presidential dollar coin in circulated condition has a face value of $1 and a market value of around $1 to $2. Depending on condition, if the coin is uncirculated or has been preserved in mint condition, its value may increase slightly, often reaching $3 to $5. However, that's the case only if it's a genuine, unaltered coin. For gold-plated versions, things change a bit, because the gold plating is not original and was applied by a private company. These coins are usually regarded as altered or novelty items. They do not carry increased numismatic value, and most dealers and collectors do not pay a premium for them. On average, a gold-plated John Quincy Adams dollar coin in good condition sells for between $2 and $4, and in rare cases, up to $5 if it's in near-perfect shape and comes with original packaging from the company that sold it. Another factor that affects the value is the coin's overall condition. Coins in good condition may still have minor signs of wear, such as light scratches or fading of the details. These are still worth holding on to, but unless they're in pristine, uncirculated condition, the increase in value is minimal. It's also important to note that the intrinsic metal value of the coin is quite low. Even though it has a golden appearance, the actual material is not gold, and even if it has been plated, the gold layer is so thin that it adds almost no melt value. It's also worth mentioning that while many people hope to have found a rare or highly valuable coin, millions of these presidential dollar coins were minted, making them widely available and not especially rare. The John Quincy Adams dollar had a fairly high mintage, meaning the chances of holding a coin worth significantly more than face value are slim, unless you happen to own a unique error version, such as one missing edge lettering or struck on the wrong planchette. There have been instances where rare minting errors or coins with special provenance fetch higher prices, but these are the exception and not the rule. If you believe your coin might be one of those rarities, it's always a good idea to have it professionally appraised or evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or numismatic expert. In conclusion, while the gold-plated John Quincy Adams coin with no mint mark may look impressive and historic, its actual market value in good condition is quite modest. Most of these coins sell for between $2 and $4 today, and that's largely based on novelty and appearance rather than rarity or precious metal content. It's a nice piece to hold on to as a conversation starter or addition to a personal collection, but it's unlikely to fund your next big purchase. If you enjoyed this breakdown or have a coin you'd like us to review in a future video, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with more insights from the world of coins and collectibles. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you in next time. Happy collecting!